أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد آل محمد وعجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واحشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين المنتخبين المصطفين الخيار وخير الأبرار، لا سيما بعد. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى عز وجل: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. In our series of Shia'ism, the natural outcome of Islam, and in choosing the ayat in ad-din 'inda Allah al-Islam, alhamdulillah, we are now entering into the 17th episode. Today is the 22nd of November. In our 16th episode, we have ended it with taking out a new subject on the reason why in the first place, in the origin, we find that the recording of hadith was there in a practice that was laid down by Imam Ali after the demise of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sadful demise, and the same writing down and recording down of hadith, preserving it, was banned by Hazrat Umar. So we cited that what could be the reason. The reason which Hazrat Umar had given was that because the language is same, the tone is same, style is same, almost same, not exactly, but almost same, of Quran Majid and Hadith Nabawiyyat Rasoolil Adam. He said that tomorrow people will be in the jumbo and they will be confused that what is kalam of Allah in Quran and what is Hadith. So he banned it. So that ban was there till the Bani Umayyad Caliph Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who reintroduced writing down of hadith. There were two reasons behind it. Okay, let's just first say about what was in the Umar's mind. He said that the hadith will be a mix-up with Arabic Quran and Arabic hadith, and there may be a confusion in the coming generations to know what is Quran and what is hadith. So for one thing, it's sure that hadith linkage from Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam was cut off for almost 100 years till Umar ibn Abdul Aziz had reintroduced. So there is no continuity of hadith and hadith thought from the era of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam till we reach to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who reintroduced writing down of hadith. With the Shiite world, the different case. Imam Ali has encouraged writing down of hadith, penning down of hadith, recording down them. And when it was asked that why Hazrat Umar has stopped and banned, he said that, and why you are continuing? He said that in case and in event of any confusion between Quran and hadith, we the Ahlul Bayt are those who have been left by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to take Quran from us. So those who are taking Quran from us, they will not have confusion. If you leave us, of course, if you leave and then take Quran from other sources, chances will be there. And by banning and stopping the writing of hadith, it made no difference. Because even after that, we find that 73 interpretations have been taken, and that's why there are 73 sects. So the goal and purpose of Hazrat Umar was not done away with, because even when hadith writing was banned, even then we find there are 73 interpretations, 73 sects. Contrary to that, Imam Ali said that we Ahlul Bayt are there. If any such confusion will come, Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam has left us as the companions of Quran. So it is we who will rectify those confusions, and we will let you know what is Quran and what is Hadith. So there is no interruption of recording of Hadith from the time of Imam al-Rahma, Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, till our time, till our date. Especially when the 6 Sahih books of Ahl Tasanun, Sahih Sitta were recorded down, and the 4 books, they were recorded down in the Shiite world, like Kafi, Manla, Faqih, Tahzeeb, Istifsar. So there is no interruption in the Shiite world at any time of continuity recording of Hadith. Whereas we find that in the first instance of Ijtihad, which is required after Quran, is Hadith. With Quran we have seen, when we taken from other than Ahl Bayt, we came to see 73 sects, and with Hadith we find the continuity was interrupted. But in the Shiite thought, Quran was taken from Ahl Bayt, and there may be, of course, in very secondary or tertiary issues in the understanding of an etymology of words, there could have been a possibility, for which we find the different schools of Ijtihad, different in Masail and Fiqh, but they are very secondary and tertiary. But they do not get the identity of a separate school or sect. In the 12 Imamiyas. Now the continuity was missed. Now, as far as when we have referred to the usul al-arba'at al-amaliyya fi asri risala and asri Imam Ali, in Najm al-Agha in asri risala, in the time of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has given that principle of ISTIS-HAAB by the parable, an example of a donkey. We find that Imam Ali alayhi salam has explicitly mentioned in saying number 274 that we quoted yesterday. That was in usul al-arba'at al-amaliyya. Now let us come to the, out of 4, the 2. The other 2 we will refer when we come to the jurisprudential part of our discussion, that which are IHTYAT, precaution, and TAQYEER, option. Now for now we are continuing with our notion of usul al-arba'at al-amaliyya, usul al-arba'at al-ilmiyya. In usul al-arba'at al-ilmiyya we find that the first principle which we take as fundamental source in Islam of deducing laws and in the Shia Ijtihad is Quran. Then comes Hadith. Then comes the 3rd IJMA, and 4th comes Aql. In the same way as we have taken only first 2 in usul al-arba'at al-amaliyya, in usul al-arba'at al-ilmiyya also we will discuss today about the 2. How these 2 are, their foundations were laid down during the Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam time, and how Imam Ali alayhi salam is narrating of this. It means in the Shiite thought we find the Quran, Quranic sciences, Quranic ayat, classification as the first source, and the second Hadith, the types of Hadith. These are all in principle are given and laid down by Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the among the Ahlul Bayt who were present at the time of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So let us go through what Imam Ali has said about Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling about the Quran which he has lived and how he has classified the ayat, because the classification helps in the understanding of usul al-fiqh. So let us see what Imam Ali said. Quoted Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says about Quran, it says, but the Prophet left among you the same which other prophets left among their peoples, because prophets do not leave them unattended in dark without a clear path and standing in design. The Holy Quran and Sunnah, the book of your Creator amongst you, clarifying its its permission and prohibitions, al-halal wal-haram, its obligations and discretions, wajibat wal-makruhat, its repealing injunctions, nasikh wal-mansukh, repealing injunctions and the repealed ones, al-nasikh wal-mansukh, its permissible matters and compulsory matters, its particulars and generals, al-am wal-khas, its lessons and illustrations, its long and short ones, its clear and obscure ones, al-mutlaq wal-muqayyad ones, detailing its abbreviations and clarifying its obscurities. In it there are some verses whose knowledge is obligatory and others whose ignorance by the people is permissible. It also contains what appears to be obligatory according to the book, but its repeal is signified by the Prophet's action. That is, Quran is saying something is wajib, but this is cancelling it. Like we have the hukm al-rajm. In Quran we find that when an adulterer does adultery, fornication adultery, that is adultery with a woman who has husband, the punishment is that she should be house imprisoned till she dies. But the ayat again says there is a clause that says until Allah brings a way out. So this was the last part of the ayat which gives a room for something, a change may come. So if anything comes from Hadith Rasul, it is not in contradiction, because the ayat itself has a clause present in it of a change to present. And we see that Rasulullah has said about rajm, the stoning till death. And this is accepted by all Sunnite and Shiite jurists of rajm, that hukum change from house imprisonment to stoning till death, that is rajm. Or that which appears compulsory according to Prophet's action, but the book allows not following it. So there are also some things which have been allowed in Sunnat Rasul, but Quran Majid has banned them and stopped them. So both types of classifications are as well there. So we find a very classified way Imam Ali as-salam is defining the terms and ayat ilahiyah. Then he says even in the sins, there are some major sins and there are some minor sins. For major sins and minor sins, their end results have also been given, and this is all in sermon number 1 in Nahjul Balagha. And sermon number 1 Nahjul Balagha has also been adopted among many important sources. It's from Tuhaful Uqul, the book written in 329 Hijrah. So one can find this sermon there also. This is about the classification of ayat Qurani which are used by mujtahideen in doing istimbaat and ijtihad. Then the second source is the source of hadith. As we have said, that hadith recording was banned after the sadful demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We find that it was continued in the Shiite world when Imam Ali said that if anything happens for a sort of a confusion between what is Quran and what is Hadith, then we the Ahlul Bayt are there to sort them out, what is Quran and what is Hadith. So for this reason, we have the continuity of recording Hadith from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So neither the Quran interpretation and tafasir nor the Hadith recording ever have been interrupted, and continuity in the Shiite thought ever lost, and that too at the infallible hands of Ahlul Bayt, among whom was first the Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now let us see how Imam Ali has classified the types of ahadith. As he has classified ayat al-Quran, he has also classified the types and nature of ahadith nabawiyya, where he has said, this is sermon number 210. That was sermon number 1 for Qurani ayat, and here we find it's in sermon number 210. So we find over here, you have Imam Ali said that only 4 types of narrators would be there who will bring Hadith Rasul to you, and also of Imam Salam. There cannot be 5th one. The first one was that whose memory was good, but he had the disease of dementia, forgetting. So he has heard something, but he has forgotten something. So he was Zaiful Hafida. Then the second one was the one who had good memory, and he listened as well, but he was a tricky type of hypocrite. He listened to Rasulullah, he understood also, but to the people he narrated otherwise. So this narrator did the error intentionally. The first was unintentional. That is because of memory problem, because of understanding problem, because of IQ problem. So that was not correct, but it was unintentional. The second case was an intentional one. Then the third type of Rawi, Imam Ali says that during the time of Rasulullah, there were some Muslims who used to travel for many reasons from other places to Medina. And when their work was over, they used to come to Ziyarah of Rasulullah. So when they came to Rasulullah, at the time he was giving sermon, or he was talking and he was saying. So these people have taken the Ahadis, or what they have heard from Rasulullah, and went to their hometown, home place, and narrated that Qala Rasulullah, Qala Rasulullah, Qala Rasulullah. So the case. But after that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam repealed it, cancelled it, nulled it. Or if it was general case, he made it special. If it was arm, then he gave an exclusion of its special case as an exception. But this man did not know of this change. And also, maybe someone came at a time when Rasul was telling about something that was cancelled. But so he recorded only the one that is cancelled. But he did not know this hukum, this injunction has cancelled to which one? Okay, so this was the third type. Then the fourth type of hadith is the one who listened to the Prophet carefully. His memory was good, his IQ was good, he was a mu'min of heart and of intention. So whatever he listened to the Prophet, it's Am, Khas, Mutlaq, Muqayyad, and with sharp memory, good IQ, good in heart, as sincere mu'min. This is the fourth type. Then he says you need to take the ahadith among these 4 ahadith only from the fourth one. So out of 4, we are subject to take riwayat only from this 1/4 lot, say 25%. So this is how the classification was done. Now, inshallah, in the next episode, we will continue the riwayat recorded in Ahlul Bayt and a little recorded from Sahaba Kiram. In our next episode, number 18, inshallah ta'ala, al-Musta'an. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Till then, Khuda Hafiz, fi amanillah, fi hifzillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kulli waliyakal hujjat ibn al-Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم اجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وأتباعه وشيعته الراضين بفعل الغضاب عنه والمستشهدين بين يديه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه واشرنا معه وارزقنا شفاعتهم.